I just want to be a regular teenager.
You cannot run from us.
I really want to start with congrats on the series. But Echo, I want to start with you first. You've said you'll passionately argue with anyone who tries to tell me ghosts aren't real.
Oh my God.
So,
yes, you read that correctly.
did you two ever get in any arguments over ghosts?
No, I guess I never asked you, do you believe in ghosts?
I don't think about it that much.
That's good.
To like have a passionate argument about it, but I mean, like I'll just be like, okay, sure. If you saw them, okay. But I know plenty of people. I grew up surrounded by people who believe in ghosts.
I mean, I'm just like, what reason do I have to lie to you that I saw a ghost? You know?
My God, you didn't tell me that you saw a ghost.
I've seen ghosts.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna put up a fight with, She saw what she saw.
Yeah. Totally. So one of the things I'm curious about, Ali, you've done a lot of voiceover work in the past. How did you two discuss figuring out the voice of Jentry and, what you wanted her to sound like and the energy level?
Gosh, it was a process, I would say. I mean, we definitely re-recorded a lot because I don't even remember. There weren't a lot of discussions. There were just sort of a lot of instinctive adjustments from Echo telling me to sort of pitch it down or to sound more younger because I can sound very mature. But
I think you always have had a really good natural voice. And we started from that and went, the nuance of Jentry is that she is so multidimensional. So you have to go from like cracking jokes one minute to having this like very sincere conversation with Gugu the next minute. Yeah. And I think that it was the hardest part about finding someone that can have that kind of versatility. But I think besides that, like, I think you've always knocked it out of the park every time we've recorded.
A lot of quiet crying, a lot of...
We've made her cry like every single time. Or there's never enough crying.
Yeah. She's under a lot of pressure.
Honestly, she is.
Yeah.
She really, I saw a number of the episodes. So the first season is 13 episodes for both of you. Which is your favorite and why?
I mean, I just love the image of the painted skin creature so much. And that was one of the first things that Echo showed me when she was pitching the show to me, and it looks almost identical to what you had drawn. But because Shang Wang, a wonderful stand-up comedian and one of my best friends, the godfather of my children, he voices one of the characters in the show. So every time, that episode is probably my favorite, just because hearing his voice through a completely different animated face will always make me laugh.
I love him so much. Yeah, I think he first appears in episode 4. My first favorite episode that came back was episode 9. Like that was, I think, stunning because we did this really cool editing, like fast-paced editing where it was like intercutting between Chang summoning his daughter again and then Jentry having like the best time of her life at homecoming, and like the juxtaposition between the two was kind of awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really proud of that episode.
So one of the things about the series is like it moves pretty quick in terms of storytelling. Like a lot happens, and I'm just curious, how much did you guys think about? Oh, if we get to do 3 or 4 seasons, we know where we're going, and how much is it sort of like let's just get through the first season and we'll see what happens?
I think I've always really enjoyed fast-paced. Like it just might be the times too. Like I have a very short attention span, and so I need things to be pretty fast-paced. But I have, this thought of where Jentry will go going forward too. I think it's not so much about how much can we put in one season. It's really like, oh, she's gonna go through so much. She needs to have this growth in order to have multiple seasons where it feels satisfying to watch her on a journey.
The other thing, if you don't mind me asking, is it's 13 episodes. A lot of shows are like 6 or 8 or 10 episodes. Was it a Netflix decision to do 13? Was it story-based? Like, how did you guys figure out that number?
It feels like it's partially when I first pitched the show, I wanted to have initially 10 episodes made. And then the last 3 we got to do luckily, and we treated it kind of like, a movie a little bit where there's like 3 acts in the last that kind of really round out the final journey in the arc. And I think we did a really beautiful job, because if we didn't have those 3 episodes, we wouldn't have had such a satisfying end to Gugu and a beginning to Jentry. So I'm really happy with the number of episodes we landed on.
For both of you, I know this is a little generic, but what are you both so excited for audiences to see with this series?
I'm just really excited for audience. I'm a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I grew up also watching X-Men, the original, and I heard X-Men 97 is great. I haven't watched it, but those were animated shows that I could watch, that adults and kids can watch together. And as a parent of 2 kids, you watch a lot of animated content that you're not a fan of, and you kind of just treat it as a nanny for your children while you do laundry and take out the trash and stuff. So this is one of those shows that I hope parents can tune into with their kids and squeeze each other, when it's scary, and talk about and just enjoy together and have like a real authentically fun, exciting experience. So
I have a very selfish want. I want people to have their first cartoon crush with this show. Like, that is my only dream that I want to make. I want people to fall in love with the show, obviously, but I also want people to experience, what it was like when we watched things like X-Men and Avatar, and like really fall in love with a world, and also have a cartoon crush. I think that would be awesome.
I think that would be fantastic. It's also weird to think about how there'll be people out there, this will be the first animated thing they watch.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about it, but it's true.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the first anime thing I watched.
King Triton. That's very public. That's mine.
I think mine was
I'll say it since you asked.
Yeah. Mine was like Teen Titans, probably. And a lot of Magic Girl anime, Card Captors and Sailor Moon and stuff. They're a really big impact on the show.
What do you think, actually? I love learning like the behind the scenes of the making of things. This is my last thing. What do you think might surprise people to learn about the making of the show?
Ooh.
Gosh, we had a researcher on the show, like
one who was like a
consultant. A cultural consultant, and she has like a PhD in
everything,
and she was so smart. So all of the creatures, like those were really thought out, very heavily discussed. With like very rich backgrounds, but that have a lot of like authenticity to them.
Yeah. She was a great help. I think that is a good point, because the show has a lot of Easter eggs in it. Like, if you look closely, you'll see a lot of Chinese mythology kind of splayed out in Gugu's lair, or we drop a cup, name drops here and there of like mythological creatures from, just all over different kinds of Chinese mythology stories. So I think if you have an eagle eye, you'll see a lot of like some of your favorite things that I think just, pop culture has popularized.
On that note, I got to stop. I'm just going to say congrats, and I do hope the show is a big hit for you guys.
Thank you
so much.